Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
I am Floyd Johnson, and with me is my good friend Sydney, and welcome to the podcast dedicated to everything that has to do with elite, all elite wrestling. Welcome to All Things Elite, episode 14. How you doing today, Sydney?
I'm doing good. Had a pretty early morning because of that flash sale that happened today, but I'm doing good other than that.
Yes, so for those who missed it, try not to be too jealous. Starrcast put out a flash sale today from noon Eastern to 1 p.m., and you got 50% off like 38 of the meet and greets. So if you had some meet and greets that you weren't able to get, you were able to jump in there early. So I was able to get a couple GA passes to the Double or Nothing after party. And they were 50% off, and I got Booker T 50% off, and a couple other wrestlers that I had already planned on buying, but I got them for half price. So that was a good time.
Yeah, I didn't get any, but
you had other stuff that you bought previously. And
yes.
You were looking for some specific things to go to 50% off. They did not, which, that happens. So, it's going to be in Vegas. We both got platinum bracelets. So,
Yepers.
We kind of prepaid for a lot of things already. So, there's going to be a lot of events. Our good friend Sydney here is going to have a media pass. So she's gonna get a lot more access through it. You excited about that?
Very excited. I just want to make sure I don't mess it up for everyone else, because we've never done this before. I was very surprised that we were accepted to be able to do it. But I'm very excited for it. I'm hoping I can be as professional as possible and not fan out, which I think I can, but we'll see.
And it's a media pass through your brother's podcast that you help out with. What's that podcast called?
It's called Pinned a Pro Wrestling Podcast.
So you can that's Pinned a Pro Wrestling Podcast. It's on. You can follow them on Twitter, and you can listen to them on all your major podcast apps. So
a new episode actually just dropped today.
A new episode dropped today, so definitely listen to it. I've listened to a couple episodes. I find Austin very passionate, and he gets a little angry, and I like it. It is definitely, it's kind of funny. I am a very positive person, So when I listen to podcasts, I generally like a different voice than mine. So Austin, at times, he's very fair, but at times, he definitely gives a different voice. So, no. But, definitely check out it. It's a Pro Wrestling Podcast. You guest on there sometimes, correct?
Yeah, sometimes I'm more of the person behind the scenes for the place, but I have been on probably around 5 or 6 episodes.
All right, yeah, and that's cool. I mean, that's when you talk to me, you sometimes help your brother. I was like, well, why don't you jump on my podcast with me? Because we definitely enjoy having guests on. Last week we had on Amy Euler. She'll be on every other week. We had a really good time. Definite positive vibe. One of the few people that can match my positivity and energy. Actually, I think she might have me beat. I was a little tired after last week's episode. Yeah, it's like, dude, yeah. It's like, hey. Like, people don't generally talk as much as I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, before we start the show, I'd just like to let you know, and remind you that this episode of All Things Elite is brought to you by Power Slam TV. Power Team Slam TV is where you can get access to over 4,000 hours of content for over 110 of your favorite wrestling brands from countries around the globe onto your laptop and mobile devices. If you use the code Social Suplex, you get the first month free at sign up. So definitely check out Power Slam TV. Speaking of TV, our big news of the week, we got a couple things. First of all, we got a UK Double or Nothing deal was announced this week. Double or Nothing will be on, what's it called?
ITV.
Yes. I'm going to let you tell everyone, what are they going to be able to find out about this? What are they going to be able to do?
So, basically, it was announced that the company ITV will be broadcasting Double or Nothing for people in the UK, which would start at 1 a.m. local time on Saturday, which technically would be Sunday for them, but of course it's Saturday for everyone else. And there's also going to be an hour-long pre-show called The Buy-In that's going to be aired free on ITV4, which I believe is a common UK channel. Which, this is amazing news for the people in the UK because, first of all, pretty much from what I've heard, almost everyone has ITV, and it's only like £15 to buy the pay-per-view, which is a steal of a deal. And then obviously it's mentioned what's going to be on the pre-show, which is the Casino Battle Royal, as well as a singles match between Kip Sabian and Sammy Guevara, which that should be a fun match. And the winner of the Casino Battle Royal is going to receive a future title shot against the first AEW World Champion. The thing I found very interesting is they did not say which match is for the AEW World Championship. I assume it's Pac versus Hangman, but a lot of people are saying it could be Kenny versus Jericho. It could be Cody versus Dustin. It really could be anything. So, yeah, I
am very intrigued about how they're going to crown their first champion. They are saying they've been very clear that they want to take some of the old rules of professional wrestling and turn them on their head, because a common way to crown your first champion is a tournament. It doesn't seem like they're going that way. So it just seems like one of their matches is for the title. The only match that has brought up having a champion is the Pac and Hangman match, because Pac is currently the Dragon Gate champion. And Hangman, of course, talks about dreaming of being the champion, and basically from everything they're talking about, that, you know, they have their established stars, but Hangman's the up-and-coming star that they're kind of building the company around. So it makes sense if they would be the title match. But with me, I was just thinking, if you're going to have a first champion, you would probably want it to be Chris Jericho or Kenny Omega.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But it's very possible they could go a different way and try to do something different by having not a huge name be the champion. I'm not exactly sure, but that's just my idea.
I mean, it would be different because Chris Jericho draws whether he has a belt or not. He doesn't need a belt to draw. Kenny Omega with the hardcore wrestling audience, he doesn't need a belt. Hangman and Pac, Hangman is a little less known definitely less known to the casual wrestling audience. Sorry, I coughed. A little less known, but Pac, WWE fans know him as Neville. Allergies. I hadn't coughed the whole time before we started the show. And now it's like, as soon as I start talking, it's like, oh my God. So it would help Hangman to be the champion of this new company to get more eyes on him because he's very talented. And my beautiful fiance just handed me a water so I don't die. I love her. So it would be great to have Hangman as your champion to get more eyes on him because he's a person that he's fresh when it comes to the eyes of casual wrestling fans. He's going to be very fresh. I could say the name Hangman Page to any of my wrestling friends that watch WWE. They really wouldn't know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
including my fiance who has no idea. I literally have a Hangman Page shirt that I have worn around her, and she still doesn't know who he is. So there you go. But the ITV box office is very exciting news. I heard that it was negotiated by Mr. Khan himself, who spends a lot of time in the UK because he works for a football team there, a football club. They own a football club there. So I'm like I said, it was a very big deal to, they're definitely going to have, a UK presence on. We got a few signings. We got a signing to announce later. And, it's definitely that you're going to have a UK presence on there. So that is good. I mean, Kip Sabian's from the UK.
Yeah, and so is Jimmy Havoc.
There you go, and Jimmy Havoc. It's like they're definitely going to have a UK presence on the show. So that first hour being available for free, maybe getting people, give them a little taste, and your next taste you got to pay for. So very, very, very excited about buy-in. Of course, we will be in the building for that. And so that will be fun to watch. I'm looking forward to it. It's like
absolutely
everything they announce. I'm like, okay, now I'm even more excited than I was before. And then the other big news, and this is presented on a lot of different sites. I am going to tell you, I generally go to the Observer for my news. So I'm not saying Observer was the only people to get this, but this is where I got the article. It looks like next Wednesday at the TNT Upfronts at Madison Square Garden, they will be announcing the AEW TV deal. How exciting is that?
Very, very hyped. For a very long time, I had people telling me, oh, come on, it's AEW. It's a new wrestling thing. There's no way they're going to get a big name. Like, I actually had my dad was telling me he swore it was going to be on True TV. And a lot of people thought that it was going to be on channels like that are kind of like mid-tier. Some people thought maybe WGN America again, since that had the All-In pre-show. But I really had faith in them. And I was like, I have a feeling they're going to get on a Warner network, and looks like I'm the one who was right in the end. So ha ha.
Our faith in AEW has not been misplaced, and for all the super passionate AEW fans, marks, or whatever you want to call us, it seems like every shot they call, they deliver on.
Absolutely.
They say, we're going to have different partners. We're going to present a different product. We're going to have TV. And it's just like everything they say they deliver on. So it's got to be to a point where the doubters are going to stop having things to doubt. And this TV deal, TNT, WCW, for a long time, Nitro was exclusively on TNT. Big fan of it. homage to WCW, and I know it's a deal. Apparently, financial aspects won't be announced because AEW is not a publicly traded company. But in the wrestling world, if more than one person knows it, it's not a secret. Yeah, it's just, that's the way it is. The numbers are going to come out, and then you're going to get some numbers that are ridiculously high. You're going to get some numbers that are ridiculously low. It'll probably be somewhere in the middle, but they probably won't confirm it unless it causes some kind of backlash, which it doesn't. I mean, it won't. I mean, AEW, you look at it, they've sold out one show. I think the Fight for the Fallen is like 80% sold out. And
I think so.
Yeah, so it's just like they're killing it. So I don't think, whether they get a big money for a TV deal will affect anyone other than, Mr. Khan. Hopefully he gets what he can. And I even heard someone had reported thought that they were going to be just completely streaming, like they were going to be on Bleacher Report's streaming site, which, wouldn't have been bad for me because, BTE and Road to Double or Nothing are, they're streamed. So there wouldn't be a problem that way. But I was just like, I just think Tony Khan is savvy enough to make a bigger deal than that, to make this a big deal. And being on TNT is a big deal. Of course, rumors are it's going to be on Tuesday night. They own the trademark to Tuesday Night Dynamite. What do you think of that name?
I think it's an interesting name. At first I was like, oh, that's kind of basic, but it's kind of grown on me. But honestly, if I'm thinking about it, like when they're planning on starting in the fall, and that's around the same time that WWE is moving SmackDown over to Fox for Fridays. So my thought would be either, yes, take that spot, or wait an extra day and then do Wednesdays, because that's right in between other wrestling days and NBA stuff, because that's another thing is TNT airs NBA stuff. So they have to find a time when NBA isn't going to be on all the time. And honestly, I feel like Tuesday or Wednesday would work best, and I'd be down to watch any of those days.
I can honestly say I think Wednesday would be the best. I'm a big TV watcher. I watch like 30 different original shows across all the networks. Wednesday's my night that I don't watch a lot. There's nothing really on Wednesdays. So I think if they did Wednesdays, they would own it.
Absolutely.
As opposed to Tuesdays, everyone, and I'm talking about the hardcore wrestling audience. I'm not talking about the casual fans. They'll be like, okay, they're just trying to take the fans that were watching the WWE. And if you look at the numbers, not a lot of people are watching the WWE. So they kind of want more than those fans. They want a bigger number than that. So I'm just thinking out loud that Wednesdays, I don't feel like there's ever been a major wrestling program on Wednesday nights. They would own that night. It would be AEW's night.
Well, technically NXT is on Wednesday nights, but that's on the WWE network. So
Yeah.
I don't think that counts.
Absolutely. You are correct there. NXT does come on Wednesday nights, but again, it's one of those things. It's pre-recorded. It shows up at 7 on Wednesday nights. It's like to be on the live network or TNT cable television Wednesday nights. You would definitely, like for me and my people, they would get the priority because they're live. You would turn it on to watch the show, and then you're like, okay, I'll watch NXT later. Like I didn't watch NXT until yesterday, just because I had others. I was watching Lucifer on Netflix, so yeah.
Gotcha.
So I didn't even watch NXT because I just was watching something else. But if you live programming, you definitely take precedent in my life. It's just like, I'm gonna watch this because if I don't watch it live, we're gonna get spoiled. So I don't know. I don't know. It's just that little extra sense of urgency helps all the wrestling. I hope this TNT deal is very favorable. I'm looking forward to seeing how they present. That's the big thing I'm excited for. Is I went to All In, and it was great and it was fun, but it was kind of like an all-star show. With Double or Nothing, I think we're gonna get an idea of what AEW wrestling is going to be, how they're going to present themselves. And
I totally agree.
And I'm excited to see it. Like if there's like any spoilers or like, oh man, look at how the stage is set up. I'm not gonna even look. I want to experience it, first time kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Like when we walked into the arena to watch All In, I had not seen anything about that stage. And when I saw it, I was like, holy crap, this is incredible. I am so glad I didn't see any of this online, because when it comes to like WrestleMania and stuff like that, you kind of can't help but to see the stage before you get in, because they do that stupid thing where they do like the whole, we're going to reveal the stage a few hours before the show. And it's like, really, don't do that. But I mean, it's just what they do. But like when it comes to like independent shows, I normally don't try to look at what the stage looks like. Like when I went to G1 Supercard in New York, I didn't know what the stage was going to look like before I walked in there. And oh my God, it was absolutely gorgeous. And it affected me so much more than just being like, yeah, I know what the stage is going to look like. Let's just wait for the show. I like having that experience when you walk in and you realize, oh my God, this is incredible. Or, oh my God, this is such a cool idea. I didn't think they'd do this. Pretty much ideas like that. Just thinking about like experiences like that.
Yeah, the audible gasp when I saw how good All In was set up, how well that stage was set up, and I pulled out my camera and immediately started taking pictures. And I love that feeling. I did it at G1 Supercard. It's like I didn't even wait till I got to round in my seat. I just went to the first curtain thing where I could see the stage, and it's just that excitement that was built up from there. That is like the first thing that you get at like live wrestling shows, especially at first time shows. So I don't like I said, I wouldn't want that to take that away from anyone. Like I said, I know there are a lot of people that read every spoiler of law, and I don't think it takes away from their experience. I'm just saying it is always fun to me to experience something for the first time as it's happening. Not no setup or anything like that. So so those were the big news of the week. TV was the news of the week. I have a friend that is especially an AEW hater, and he's still my friend. I know. I should probably disown him, but he really, really hates AEW, and he's finding it. I mean, he's nitpicking now. He's nitpicking because he really has nothing. There's nothing. It's like, oh, it's a T-shirt company, and it's like, oh, they have a sold-out show. Well, they don't have TV. Well, they're announcing TV on a major cable network Wednesday. Come on. It's like you have nothing. Like there's nothing there. It's like, oh, well, they're bad for the indies. I'm like, dude, you're reaching. You're reaching. you're reaching. And like, you're reaching. That's like saying pro football is bad for college football. Having more pro football leagues is bad for college. I'm like, are you serious? No, you're reaching. You're reaching, bro. No, but first, we like to do these in order. So it was a little weird. So we're gonna do a little production on the call. Technically, Being the Elite came out before Road to Double or Nothing.
Yes.
So chronologically, we should probably do Being the Elite first, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, because I have Road. If you see the sheet, I have Road to Double or Nothing recap, and I was just like, well, no, that doesn't really work that way because they were. So we're reversing those. So on this week on BTE, it was a packed show, and I audibly laughed a lot at this show. What did you think of this week's BTE?
I thought it was very good. I also audibly laughed at a lot of it. I actually watched it twice because I watched it once by myself, and then when my brother Austin got home, we watched it together, and I was just laughing again, and just like, I love how it's all coming together. Like, I mean, we're 2 weeks away, so like the fact that we're finally getting like more information and more stuff is getting confirmed and all this stuff and more appearances and just like their last few appearances at indie shows, and it's really cool to realize, holy crap, it's almost here.
Yeah, that is crazy. I mean, in seriously 13 days, because I show up on Thursday, I will be in Las Vegas, you know. And when are you coming in, Thursday or Friday?
I'm coming in Thursday.
You coming in Thursday, just like, so
Yep.
13 days, we'll be hanging out. We'll be,
Yay!
we'll be hanging out. We'll be standing in lines. We'll be standing in lines. We'll be going to the party with Frankie K, and you know, to that jam session. I'll be meeting Cody again, and it's just gonna be so fun. I'm just looking forward to all
Same.
of it. All of it. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you, Tiffany, and it'll just be a grand time. So looking forward to that coming up. So we open up with, seriously, I started laughing immediately. Michael Nakazawa pouring baby oil on himself. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? That was my first thought. So that was my like immediate first thought is what is going on with Michael Nakazawa. You might have just heard Cody's theme. That was the ringer to my phone, as I forgot to press mute before I started the call. On me. Bad podcasting right there. But Michael Nakazawa pouring baby oil on himself, and he kind of looks and said, "Hey Matt, you want to oil my back?" And I'm like, dude. So Matt's laying down with his hands reaching out like he was grabbing the oil to rub his back, and he shakes out of his nightmare, and he does it the only way he knows how, and he says, Michael Nakazawa. There's such hate in how he says that name. It's amazing. So we get that, and we go to another scene where Cody is reading his book. I'm looking forward to it. I bought the book as part of his book signing. And Penelope is sitting on the floor. He's reading to her like she's a kid. And she says, you know I'm adult, right? And then she asks where Brandy is. Now, I don't know about you, and I'm not going to stop and talk about every segment, but I found Penelope's acting in this episode to be really good. I mean,
for sure.
I think she like really stuck out as really being good. And I'm looking like on the skits and stuff. It's like when she's with someone else, it's like she's buying in. And I mean, I don't know if it's just that's her personality. Is just being a badass is her personality. But she comes off as a badass in like everything she says.
I think that's absolutely her personality. She's definitely the type of person who kind of asserts herself and gives it her all for her moments in the spotlight, just to make sure, like, listen, pay attention to me, like, you will not regret actually being invested.
Yes, definitely. And like, I just thought she was just kick ass. Like, just in that short segment, it was just like, grrr. And, you know, it was like, you know, don't treat me like a kid kind of thing. And then, so we go to Joey, who's on the search for the blonde girl, which is Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae, when she was wrestling in Indies, used to hail from Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. So Joey goes to Disneyland and looks for Mr. Toad's Wild Ride to see if Candice is there. He couldn't find her. And Eeyore was sad because no one asked him where Candice is.
That killed me.
Yes.
That absolutely killed me.
Yes. I was like, that was like, where did that come from? That was just like amazing detail added that actually made me laugh, especially because I didn't really hear it the first time I watched the show. I saw it on the second viewing. And I was like, oh, damn, okay. Because most of the time when I first watch the show, I'm at work, so I'm distracted watching. I always watch it the second time with nothing else going on. So I thought that was funny. Joey continues his search. I wonder how they're going to pay that off because, Candice is in the WWE, so I'm doubting she's going to show up at Double or Nothing.
Well, I honestly don't think Joey's going to show up at Double or Nothing either, because I recently found out he's actually booked for May 25th for a show for Absolute Intense Wrestling, I believe, which he is facing. I don't remember who he's facing, but it's in Columbus, Ohio. So and it starts at 6:30. So I have no clue how he would be able to get there in time.
So they are not going to pay this off at Double or Nothing. They haven't said it. They haven't even, alluded to that. That was just me kind of like everything's going to Double or Nothing. But, they're already building stuff to Fyter Fest, and they're already building the Fighter for the Fallen. So it could pay off anywhere. It could even just pay off on the show. Mm-hmm. Brandy is poolside with Penelope Ford and Britt Baker. Penelope says, let's get shots. Brandy tells Britt that she's her pick. She's, the other two aren't any competition. So it looks like Brandy's trying to curry favor with Britt Baker, and Britt seems pretty happy with it. Sammy G is in Pakistan in the next segment. He's getting, being nice, and he's doing flips, and he's like just telling everybody how good it is to be in Pakistan. He goes off, and then one of the guys says he thinks Sammy's a dick. And Matt says, poor Sammy G, because no matter how nice he is, everyone thinks he's a dick. Now, I love this, because if you've seen Sammy G at indie shows, he is a very cocky asshole heel. So
really?
Yeah. So I saw him at NWA 70. He's kind of a cocky asshole heel. So that's the only time I've seen him. That's the only time I've seen him wrestle. He was freaking amazing. So when they announced that they were signing him, I was like over the moon. I thought he was really talented. And so we will see which way they go with this. I love it because, there are people like that, They're so nice that people hate them. And, especially with him, because he's nice, right? He's super athletic. He's good looking. Yeah, he's kind of dude I would hate in real life. Like, you just got too much going for you. I hate you. So,
yeah.
No, and then, so we get back to the pool side, and Randy's talking to Penelope and Britt again, and ask if either could do a shooting stars press. I found that to be a weird question. Because I know Penelope can do the backflip stunner. I've seen that many times, so she's super athletic. But shooting stars press, I don't know. And you tell me if you've had a different experience. I don't know if I've ever seen a woman do a shooting star press.
I don't think I have, and I think that was the point. I think she was trying to find a woman who could do it for the show.
That is crazy. Like I said, I've just never seen it. And then she's hating on Allie because she has a problem with Allie. And she's like, well, Allie definitely can't do a shooting star press, which, again, no one can. And Penelope was like, and then Britt was like, I kind of like Allie. And Penelope's like, what the fuck is Demon Bunny? And then and then we find out there is no alcohol in the shop because Brandy is on a fucking diet. Which is hilarious. Hilarious.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you kind of see the nice and then the angry Brandy. Like, she's definitely the duality right there. And Kenny shows Cody on woman wrestling, and they agree she is all elite. So I was listening to another show, and they said her name. Do you know her name?
I don't know her name.
Yeah, because I have it here written, but I don't know if that's what they said. So I'm going to say her name is Rio, And if that's wrong, I'm sorry. Please tweet us with the right answer if you know it. But I believe they said it was Rio, and that she's all elite, and she used to wrestle with Kenny. Like, we saw them on, like, it just looked like a mat on a gym floor wrestling.
Yeah.
She did a single leg crab, but then she did a full bridge into the move. So she sold me right there. Because I had never seen anything. I'd never seen that before in my life. And I was just like, that's awesome. Yeah, you're all elite. That move's all elite. Because you could give me $1 million and unlimited chances, and I couldn't pull that off. So I thought that was impressive. I just
Absolutely.
really thought that was impressive. I'm like, yep, she looks elite to me. So
For sure.
Yeah. So they seem really happy, and Kenny said he's going to make the call. Kenny said he's going to make the call. So looks like we got another member of the All Elite crew. So we show Hangman, who's on a run. Did you notice something interesting about him on this run?
I noticed when he finished it, he looked at his arm and said 17 miles. It was his bare arm. There was nothing on his wrist.
See, you noticed that. First thing I noticed is he was also doing the run in cowboy boots.
I didn't see that.
Like, bro.
Tennis shoes, bro. Come on.
Come on, dude. You'll jack up your feet that way. He gets a message from the bastard. He calls him a twig man, and says he probably needs a little help, so he needs to get on the juice. He pulls out the white bottle, and it says Michael's Secret Stuff. Now, have you seen that movie?
Are you kidding me? I've seen it probably 7 times.
7 times, okay. I only
love
asked
that movie
because I was like, I think Space Jam came out before you were born. I wasn't sure. Michael's Secret Stuff. It was my favorite cartoon movie for a very long time. I'm a big Michael Jordan fan, and so Hangman reads all the side effects, and they seem to be all the side effects that go along with steroids. And he says, I'm not going to take it. He walks out of the screen, comes back, and he drinks it. He drinks it all in, Michael's Secret Stuff. So I'm really excited to see where it's going on. Did
you see his tweet he did after the show was over?
No, I guess I missed that.
He tweeted out, he was like, so I received a letter from the bastard, and he was trying to get me to do this juice. Fortunately, I'm stronger than this. I'm gonna do this seriously. I threw away the bottle, and I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do this legitimately. But if you look in the background, it's still on his table.
That's funny. It's hilarious. I love how they go along with it. It's funny because they're building up. And Hangman is in amazing shape. You know, I would kill for his physique. But he's going to have to be visibly different at the show. Mm-hmm. I think they're building up. He's going to have like an ab or rip. Because he's in shape. But he's not super cut up in shape. So
he's going to have like a muscle suit on.
Yes. That would be hilarious.
Be like SpongeBob. He's going to blow himself up.
That would be hilarious if that happens. No, that is awesome. Yes, I mean, I didn't even think of that. But yes, if he comes out in a muscle thing, that would be funny. A little funny with the serious that is that match. That would be great. So then we get Bryce Rutherford. He announces the rules for the Casino Battle Royal. 5, they're going to start. It's completely turning Battle Royals up on their head. You're going to have 5 participants start. Then every 3 minutes, another 5 is going to come in until they get to 20. And then Lucky 21 will enter by himself. So, excuse me, over the top rules. Over the top rules after that. So that is very exciting. What do you think about the new rules?
Definitely interesting. I'm very excited for it because I'm assuming like each group of 5 is going to be people we already know who are in the Battle Royal and stuff. But the thing that is on my mind, and I cannot for the life of me think of who it could be, is who's going to be lucky number 21. Is it going to be a huge surprise? Is it going to be someone we've known since the beginning who's going to be in it? Or is it someone that we recently found out is going to be in it? I don't know, because I feel like if you wanted to make it the best, you'd make it a huge surprise of who's number 21. But then in that case, it would almost be like he would have to win if he was 21, whoever it was.
Yes. And the letters I like are MOX, as in Johnny Moxley. I would love him to be number 21.
CM is another one I think would be cool.
Oh, dude, because he has the clover leaves and stuff because he doesn't believe in luck, and to be lucky number 21 would definitely speak to his character. I think there's a lot of people it could be. As far as making me excited about it, I don't know if Dillinger's contract, Ty Dillinger, or I think he goes by Sean Spears on the Indies. If his contract
he's no longer in WWE. So
I didn't know if his contract expired by then, because I would love for him to come in at 10.
That would be awesome.
10. So definitely, I'm looking forward to who's in it. I'm looking forward to who's gonna win it. I'm looking forward to all of it. It's like, after the All-In Battle Royal, they've kind of won me over where I care about Battle Royals.
Absolutely.
Battle Royals used to be kind of like, I can take my time getting to my seat kind of thing.
I'll never forget the moment with Jordan Gracie. Like, oh my God, that was incredible for her, and just so cool to see her in there and actually get like 2 or 3 big moments that were super cool.
Oh, dude, I would pop so hard if she was there. I love Jordan Grace. And like I have this Jordan Grace bear hug t-shirt. I just love her so much. She's such, and if you follow her on Twitter, she's one of my favorite follows, because you cannot give Jordan Grace shit. She will give it back to you.
Absolutely.
Twice as hard, and she will own you. I think she might single-handedly be the reason for the most deleted Twitter accounts like ever. So next we get SCU cuts a promo on Shima, and they announced that his partners are T-Hawk and Linderman. They are members of the Strong Hearts. They are pretty much his like 2 main proteges in the Strong Hearts. They defected from Dragon Gate to the OWE with him. So they've been tagging up for a long time. So these are 2 seasoned 6-man tag teams that we're gonna have on, and we're gonna see who the best trios. SCU reminds them that you are going to be in their home court, even though it's not Southern California. Las Vegas that day will feel like it's SCU. So I'm excited about that. I thought it was a really good promo, because they've been having kind of fun with the whole thing, and it was like that serious moment that they do intend to try to win.
Yeah, for sure. I also love that Scorpio is holding a sword.
He was holding a what?
A sword.
Oh, yes. He's ready for battle. So the Bucks randomly drive up on a local indie show, which is in a ring in the middle of a parking lot, and they decide to work off some ring rust. They do a montage of wrestling moves, and it looks like they was working on some kind of secret move, but Brandon Cutler started recording himself, so he missed the secret move, and they're gonna break it out at the show if they get the opportunity. Now I'm really interested in what that move is. I
am too.
Yeah, based on the positioning, it's some kind of cool double team, and I just and it's funny because on Being the Elite, everything they do leads up to something. So now I'm imagining it was one of the moves that they did in like their home videos. And it was just, it looks like, because I saw some stuff in their home videos. I was like, I've never seen them do that. I'm like, wonder if they're going to break out some stuff like that. So
I have a feeling they will.
That should be fun because everything pays off. I'm just a little side note. I was listening to Kevin Smith's podcast about Avengers Endgame, and he was talking about rewarding your fans, or like fan payoff. I forgot the exact term he used, and I was like that is the perfect description of what the Elite do.
Absolutely.
They pay you off for watching every week and being dedicated. They don't make it where everything's an inside joke, but for the people that do get the inside jokes, it's like, and then you get to look at your casual friend and be like, okay, this is what happened, and you get to be the smart one in the room. And you don't know. That's a good feeling when you're a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jericho makes a surprise appearance in Georgia. What was this show called? The South,
I cannot remember for the life of me, but Cody was announced that he was going to be there.
Cody announced it was in Atlanta, and it was Southern, and it's an H, because they called it SHW. I don't remember what the H was for. But he attacked Sunny Days. Omega shows up out of nowhere. Lights go out, and then he attacks Chris Jericho, a la Chris Jericho. He pulled a Jericho on Jericho. Local guy attacks Kenny and takes a V-trigger. Kenny sets up for a one-wing angel and gets chop blocked by Jericho. Donnybrook ensues. Do you know what a Donnybrook is?
Nope.
Yes, see, now back in the day, in the 70s and 80s wrestling, I wasn't alive for the 70s part, but 80s wrestling, anytime there was like a fracas in the ring with everybody, I believe Gorilla Monsoon would call it a Donnybrook, which I guess means like an all-out fight, I guess. I don't know. I've just used it my whole life because I'm old. So we get the Bucks in the car. Kenny Omega texts him that he attacked Chris Jericho and calls him pathetic. He says he's now on the way to Daytona Beach, but he's hanging around with this rapper from the 2000s named Ja, and then it cuts off.
This
that was
really
for Ja
intrigues
Rule,
me.
who was famous for, or infamous for, the Fyter Fest debacle. So they were playing on that, and they just wish Kenny would just watch the rest of the documentary. It's on Netflix, as they keep saying.
It's free.
Yes. Then Bucks get a text, and it's a ransom video.
Oh, this killed me.
Dude. I like the first time I watched it, I'm at work, and I had a phone call, and I started laughing. I had to mute and pause because it was just like, he's like, you don't know who we are, and you don't know why we're here. Straight Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, the Outsiders. And they say, we have demands. And once they get to the demand, he's like, no, we just have one demand. The best friends are not in the battle royal. And clearly some guy that says that he threatens that they're going to kill their family.
Well, you can't do that.
He said, we're not trying to kill their family. We're just trying to get booked on the show. They got beautiful kids. And it was like, and then they hugged.
Then they started shoving each other, and the little freaking pixelated thing, like, they popped out of it. You could obviously see it was Trent and Chucky.
And then they hug, a la best friends. It's like everything. It's like, and then so you see them from behind the blur, and they say, hey, that's enough. They like, best friends tag team match, not in the battle royal. And then Brandon Cutler, and perfectly played, he's like, I don't want to spoil it for you if you don't know who they are. And they're looking at him like everyone knows who they are. Like,
did you notice he kind of popped out from behind the blur? Like, I don't want to spoil it if you don't know it, but...
Yes, that was kind of funny. And Brandon Cutler played that well. He played that very, very well. I definitely shout out to him. And I just thought that was brilliant, and I laughed a whole lot. And that was your very long BTE recap. So yes, sorry. I just thought this week's episode was really good. I agree,
and plus, Road to Double or Nothing wasn't too long in comparison.
That is true. We come It came out on Monday. I know most of you watched it, but it was like when I watched it the second time, I was like, this is gold. Was a really good episode. It's like, because I kind of treat BTE like it's a TV show, and I was like, this was a really good episode. It's like stuff happened in the episode. So before we do the rest of the part, we have the big segment of the show today, and we're going to continue on our theme from last week, and we're going to discuss Starrcast. And what we're going to especially talk about today for the people that will be in Vegas and are in the Vegas area. Now, this if Vegas is within driving area, this is stuff that's going to be at Tuscany Suites and Casinos, the official hotel of Starrcast. And they announced, I think it was last week, that everything at Tuscany's Suite and Casinos will not require a golden or platinum bracelet. So you just get in. You show up, you can see this stuff for free. So if you're running low on money, you've bought your meet and greets, and you're like, well, I just need some stuff where I can just hang out. This is where you're going to show up. And so it is, it's action packed. You got yours up there, right? You got the page up?
Got my what? Oh, the page? Yeah, I got it up.
Oh, okay, yeah. I just wanted, I'm like, so we start Thursday from 10:30 to 11:30. You got Frankie Kazarian's jam session, hosted by Las Vegas' own The Godfather, and from WWE, and it's completely free for all. It's an open.
That's the stage.
That's the stage. So it's called Pro Wrestling Tees Meetup Party. So that's at the stage. Everyone can come watch. Everyone can be a part of it. If you want to do something extra, they got a 10 p.m. to 12 p.m. open bar bracelet that you can buy at Starrcast.com.
It's only available through pre-order, so you can't buy it when you get there.
Correct. And I believe it's $39.
Yep.
So definitely, but if you just want to just hang out, you can come and watch Frankie and his band, right? And they all play. Is Papa Buck going to be at that one?
Yes.
So you'll get to see Papa Buck, and it'll just be a good time. So you get you get a first night concert, basically.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's going to be exciting. Then if you're a big fan of wrestling podcast, the rest of the weekend is like where it's at. So do you mind taking Friday?
I do not mind at all.
I'll go for it.
So from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., there's going to be Breakfast with Busted Open with hosts Mark Henry and Dave LaGreca of Busted Open, and that'll be at the free-for-all stage. And I believe there's also a breakfast bracelet for that, that is if you want to eat, obviously. You would have to pay beforehand, and that, I believe, is also $39. And then each hour from I gotta check this so I can see. Yeah, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. At the Viceland Theater, there's going to be Dark Side of the Ring screening. So basically, the whole Viceland series of Dark Side of the Ring will be playing in this theater, and each hour there'll be a new one playing, which I think is pretty cool. From 11:30 to 12:30, the first podcast of the day is What Culture Wrestling, which I believe is Phil, Simon. I don't know who else is going to be there, but there's more that will probably be there.
Hopefully the Bullet Club doesn't beat them up.
Yeah, because hopefully. But right after that, like about a half hour after that, from 1 to 2 p.m. is Cultaholic Live with Ross, Jack, and Sam, who are actually very good friends of mine. And then after that, from 2:30 to 3:30, they're going to have Wrestling Inc.'s Pro Wrestling Journalism panel and Hootenanny. I think that's what that word is, hosted by Nick Hossman. I have no clue about this show, so I can't say anything witty about it. From 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., Straight Shoeing with Stevie Ray and Ernest Miller, who I believe those are both former WWE superstars, aren't they?
I think Ernest the Cat Miller was just WCW. I don't remember. If he had a WWE run, I don't remember it, and that's pretty sad. But yeah, Stevie Ray, that's Booker T's brother. So there you go.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. From 5:30, I think that's supposed to say p.m. until 6:30 p.m. Two Dope Smarks will be having their live show. From 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., there will be the Rock and Wrestling podcast hosted by Nick, who I have met. Very nice man. He does a very good show as well. And then from 10:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m., we've got Starrcast Karaoke hosted by Bill Apter. Now, it's no Marty Skrull, but it's still karaoke, so it should still be fun. And there's also an open bar bracelet from 10 p.m. to midnight on Friday night as well, which again is all for alcohol and such. For the next one as well, from 11 p.m. to midnight, get high and watch wrestling with Sean Waltman and Ron Funches in the Viceland Theater. Now that would definitely be interesting.
Yes, because I like to point out again, marijuana use is legal in Las Vegas.
It is.
Yes. So, yeah. So getting high and watch wrestling, there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, that looks. I mean, you got a solid day there. I'm like, even the Dark Side of the Ring screenings, you can just catch it at any point in time. Stevie Ray and Ernest Cat Miller. So, these people are going to be walking off and getting on stage. So, you might not be able to get a picture, but you can handshake and say hi to some of your wrestlers from the past. And that's all free. That's the free part of it. So that's a good deal. And then Saturday, from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., we have the Superstars of Wrestling Breakfast. And I believe you could just go to the event, but if you want to eat breakfast, you would have to pay for that on Starrcast.com. Yes. Then you get that's from 8 to 9, and that's in the lounge. I don't see, what's that say? Can I not?
I think that's Wrestling Observer.
Wrestling Observer Lounge. And then around the same time, 8:30 to 9:30, you get Total Engagement with Matt Kuhn on the podcast movement stage. Matt is... I honestly don't know if that's true anymore, because I saw him tweet out that due to unforeseen circumstances, that show won't be happening. So there may be a different show going on then. I don't know, though. Womp, womp. That is sad. Matt is very fun. Matt is he's a very good follow on Twitter. I find what he has to say always interesting. And you got from 8:30 to 2 p.m., you'll get the Dark Side of the Ring screenings, and that's in the Viceland Theater. From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., you'll get Double or Nothing DDP Yoga Workshop. I kind of want to go to that. But that's exercise, and I'm allergic to it.
Exercise is not my forte.
Yeah, I'm allergic to exercise. Every time I do it, I get really tired and I sweat. It's weird.
Yeah, that's no fun.
Yeah. And 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., we got Wrestle Crap with R.D. Reynolds. I am not familiar with that show.
He was at Starrcast last year, and he was the one that had all the, what was it, like props from WWE events and stuff. So, there was the Katie Vick thing, and then there was the Gobbledygooker's head and stuff like that. And he does, a podcast, which Wrestle Crap is that podcast. And apparently he's going to have the Blue Meanie and Matthew from Botchamania on that show. So that should be fun.
And if you haven't noticed, Sydney knows everyone and everything. I love that.
I watched Twitter.
Yes, you watched the Twitter. Then from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., we got After Mags with Bill After on the podcast movement stage. And last but not least for that day, from 1 to 2 p.m., Sporting News DAZN.
I think it's supposed to be Dazen.
Dazen. with Andreas Helms on the podcast movement stage. Events end at 2 o'clock that day because everything shuts down for Double or Nothing. The show starts at 4 p.m. So, of course, Starrcast is in conjunction. I mean, they're not the same company as AEW, but they work in conjunction. So they will shut down all events so everybody can get over to MGM Grand so they can watch the Starrcast event. And then Sunday, you can have breakfast with the bad boy, Joey Janela's Spring Breakfast, hosted by Joey Janela. And I'm guessing if you actually want to eat, gotta go buy a meal, right?
Yeah, you have to buy the breakfast bracelet for this. And also, if you end up doing the after party, this is 6 hours after that. So if you want to sleep after the after party, you will have 6 hours if you want to do this as well.
Yes, they are giving you stuff to do whether you like to sleep or not. Yes, so definitely that is that. I just clicked off my screen for a second. Then 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. we get the Laps Fan on the podcast movement stage. I'm hoping after AEW comes out there are no more Laps Fans, but that is actually, I've heard that podcast a couple times, and I thought that was I thought it was pretty decent. Yeah. And then 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. there's your Dark Side of the Ring screenings. I mean, like, seriously, if you get past this weekend and you say you're bored and you haven't seen every episode of Dark Side of the Ring, I can be like, you're not trying very hard, because they are playing a lot. And then 11 to 12, we got Going In Raw with Steven Larson.
Yep. We met Steven Larson. Very nice men. We very much enjoy their show. And we actually interviewed them for our podcast, which was very cool.
See, I'm just going to follow you around and get to know everybody. Then from 12:30 to 1:30, we got Fight Boys with Scotty Moore. And then 2 to 3, there's something being announced from 2 to 3. Don't know what that is.
I don't know if they announced it later or what. I don't know. Keep going.
All right. 3:30 to 4:30, Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast. They're back. So you'll get to enjoy them again with Matthew, Jack, and Ross.
Mm-hmm.
And then 6 to 8, we got the Starrcast Rap Party, Free for All, and open bar bracelets on sale. Now, that Sunday night, I actually leave Monday morning to come back home, so I will not be getting the open bar bracelet for that one.
I leave Tuesday.
That's awesome. If I flew,
so I'll have an extra day.
If I flew, I would have left Tuesday, but since I'm driving, I have to leave Monday.
I get that. Because we're flying.
Because you're cool and stuff. No, I do love road trips. It is, I wouldn't call it a guilty pleasure. It is one of those sick things that everybody hates that I love. I love long road trips. So I like seeing different places. I like the music. I like the conversation that goes on. I like catching up on podcasts. And those are all things you can do while you're driving an excessive amount of miles. But those were your free Starrcast events. And I apologize if we sound like a Starrcast commercial over the last 2 weeks. But when there's no wrestling going on, you fill the show with what you can. And so giving people that might not know everything that's going on. Some people are going, they probably don't live on Twitter, and they might not know about the free options that they have, because there's a lot of opportunities to spend money in Las Vegas. Now you'll have some opportunities to get some free stuff, which I definitely thank the people from Starrcast from. We were just talking about how awesome they are when you're a customer of them, and I imagine how awesome they are to work with. They definitely try to feel your fan experience. I'm just like, who gives this? This is free to the public. All of this is free to the public.
Absolutely.
You're not, with other companies, because I'm not speaking disparaging of them, it feels like everything's a money grab. You wouldn't get basically 3 days worth of free stuff to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you can't afford the gold bracelet or platinum bracelet or whatever, and you're in time for Double or Nothing, you can go hang out, and there's going to be a community of wrestling fans at all of these events. Just hanging out. So that'll be fun. I'm excited. Because I definitely think I want to make it to, out of all those, the one I want to go to the What Culture Wrestling thing, because the Tama and Tangaloa and Haku are in town. I think some might go down. Maybe not. I don't know. But I'm going to be there just to see.
I was at the block party, and honestly, most of the footage used from What Culture and stuff, obviously given access to use it from my brother. My brother did record it, so it's his footage has kind of been getting famous from him recording the beginning of the debacle that happened at the Bullet Club block party. Which also that was very fun. But yeah, they'll be in town. I don't know if they have meet and greets on Friday, but I do know they have meet and greets Saturday morning.
Yeah, because ain't nobody realer than Gorilla. So just you need to know that. Ain't nobody realer than Gorilla. And then, I'm excited about that one. Straight Shooting with Stevie Ray and Ernest Miller. If I don't have anything going on, then I will definitely be at that. The only thing is, on Friday I will be mostly at Caesars, so trying to get back for any of this stuff would be kind of weird. But yeah, I'm excited for all these. I think I'm gonna do the spring breakfast because I like breakfast, and I'm a big breakfast person. And Superstars of Wrestling breakfast, I might do. That's a strong maybe. So I'm looking forward to all of these things. So everybody, you can definitely go to Starrcast.com to check it out. You can go to Starrcast. It's at Starrcast Events on Twitter. You can go to all those. And if you can't make it, you can watch most of the things that are happening in Caesars on Fight TV. And I believe it's $59.99, correct?
Yep.
So, yeah, and you'll be part of the online community of people watching. Hashtag Starrcast on Fight, hashtag Starrcast. Whatever you want to do, there'll be an online community watching it. So, we're definitely looking out for the people that can't make it either, because unfortunately, life does happen, and it does not stop for wrestling. It should, but it does not stop for wrestling. So, we had a couple of signings announced this week, and Helico and Jack Evans, they were both on Lucha Underground. In Helico, the first place I saw him was on Progress. I was a big fan I saw him wrestle on Progress. I believe it was I think it was like a Super Strong Style 16, and I just thought he was freaking amazing. And I'm a big fan. And he's from South Africa. And he's a really, really good looking dude. Really good looking dude. I don't know. What do you think, ma'am?
Well, I've never seen, I never saw him in Lucha Underground, and I never really, I don't watch much Progress, which is mainly just because I don't have time. But he seems like, from the stuff I have seen online, he seems like he's really good. I agree, he is definitely good looking. But yeah, I can't really say much because I haven't seen much, but I'm very excited for what this holds, and also this adds another tag team to AEW's belt.
Yeah, definitely. Building the best tag team division in the world. Jack Evans is a freak of nature, athletic freak. Seriously, Ospreay, Ricochet, they get the pub. Jack Evans is right there with them as far as being an athlete. Go on YouTube and just put in Jack Evans and then just be impressed. Every time I watched him, he's just definitely impressive, and he does things that, normal people shouldn't be able to do. So there you go. They're super athletic guys. Very excited that they are with AEW. We also announced that Jerry Lynn signed as Coach Jerry Lynn. I think Coach is going to kind of be an agent role in All Elite, as in, wrestlers are going to put together their matches, but they need a little help, maybe help with two people working different styles. I think that's where Jerry Lynn is going to come in. They got a nice staff.
I think he'll also be like a legitimate coach for like training and stuff.
Interesting. Yeah. That would be cool. Everyone loves Jerry Lynn. If you don't like Jerry Lynn, you probably should look inside, because not very many wrestlers you can say that about, that no one has anything bad to say about them. Everyone loves Jerry Lynn. And then Rick Knox got hired as a referee.
Did you hear the match he's going to be refereeing?
No.
He's refereeing Young Bucks versus Lucha Bros.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. That is, yeah. I keep just thinking of how amazing that match is going to be.
It's going to be so good.
They're going to tear that house down. And then we had rumored talent from Tennille Dashwood. The reason this came up as a rumor is the ITV box office had they were signed. They literally started following everybody from the Elite on the roster and the Elite, and then they followed Tennille Dashwood. And then, from what I understand, someone pointed it out, and then they unfollowed her. Like, hey, like you were spoiling this. So, and Tennille Dashwood did announce that she signed, finished up with ROH. They've actually even wrote her off the show, wrote her out of Lifeblood. So, that being said, it looks like Tennille is All Elite.
I really want that. I love her.
I love her. I love her. I love her. I think she's very talented. I think she adds a bigger name to the women's division, which is awesome. I say, if you gave me my dream list, I mean, she's in that top list right with Tessa Blanchard and Jordynne Grace. I really want them. I just think the women's division, they can really, really build up. I don't know how familiar with her. I would also love me some Session Martina.
Oh yeah, she's gonna actually be at Starrcast, I think.
She's freaking awesome. She's like this party character, and it's hilarious to me. We already announced T-Hawk and Linderman will be partnering with Shima, but just had it in my notes. And last big news that is AEW adjacent. Chris Jericho has always announced that he has a clause in his contract that he can work with New Japan when the time comes. At one of their shows last week, Chris Jericho, after Okada beat Sonata, video showed up, and it looks like Jericho is going to be fighting Okada June 9th at Dominion. Great thing about that is June 9th is June 9th is the day before my birthday. So it's kind of, it's like a cool thing that Dominion happens always around my birthday now. So
that's awesome.
That is awesome. So I'll be watching that show live, Chris Jericho versus Okada. We're also on that show getting Ibushi versus Naito. I know this is not a New Japan show, but those matches are going to be amazing. We're wrestling fans, and hopefully this leads to more New Japan and AEW working together in the future. I just think this is a part. I truly believe this is just a part of Chris Jericho's contract.
I agree.
But if this could lead to something more, I'm like,
for sure.
Yeah, I'm not gonna turn that down, because for me, I know sometimes you don't get payoffs in wrestling, but I still want my Bullet Club versus Elite War.
Mm-hmm.
I never got it. It never scratched that itch, and I need that itch scratched. So yeah, all right. Well, so yeah, that is like the news and the signings. Did I miss anything? Did you are Mrs. Twitter? You keep up with the news. Did I miss anything there?
I don't think you missed anything.
Well, that is awesome that I didn't miss anything. So we both watched Double or Nothing. What'd you think of this week's episode?
I thought it was good. Very, very interesting, and definitely, we found out more stuff and got to see some cool stuff along with it. And yeah, I'm really happy about I'm happy about the announcements that were made on it.
Great. So we got the disrespectful Chris Jericho sitting at Cody's desk, and I added disrespectful because you don't disrespect Cody. Jericho is at his desk. Michael Kalari tells Cody that he's already in there. Jericho's sitting on the desk, flipping through the children's book with his feet up. So disrespectful. Cody gets immediately angry.
Extremely.
Yeah, like immediately angry. Like, I'm glad you made yourself comfortable. And then Jericho does his thing. He made the company legit. Everyone should thank Jericho. The reason this whole thing exists is because of Jericho. And it's funny. Jericho's so good because he's taken a lot of real thoughts, and playing them up in a wrestling way, which is always better. Mm-hmm. And he's been watching Rodu, Double or Nothing, and BTE, and he feels like they're making a mockery of them. He said Dusty promised him a push in Grand Rapids, South Dakota, very specific city, and that never did. And after he beats Kenny, he wants a public thank you. Cody says none of that matters. He doesn't know what Dusty promised him. He thanks him and says, here's a thank you from me to you. And he said, this wasn't worth it. Get your shit and get the fuck out of my office. And Jericho says, got it, boss. So, as Jericho's being walked out to his car by Michael Kalari, he attacks him. And then, on his way to the car, and then he does the most disrespectful thing to Michael you can do. He takes a bite of his apple. How dare he? And then throws it on him. Because, Michael's not Michael without his apple in his hand. And that's like, seriously, that's like taking Thor's hammer. Taking Michael's apple. What is going on? So, yeah. What did you think of this segment?
It honestly makes me think we're going to see Cody versus Jericho in the future. 100%.
Absolutely. I am looking forward to that match. They both have similar storytelling styles when they wrestle. So I think they got a good program set up. And, Cody and Jericho's going to tear it down, when that absolutely happens. So we go back to poolside with Penelope, Britt, and Brandy. This is continuing from BTE, and they are doing a photo shoot. No real storyline progression. They're just a bunch of really attractive women taking pictures in bikinis. I didn't miss anything, did I?
I don't think you did.
I was going to say, they might have been talking. I'm sorry. I'm confused. I am a guy. Sorry.
You're fine.
That was that. Yeah, it was like a really weird, just poolside taking pictures. I was like, okay, cool. And Pac delivers a program. This is a promo. And he calls Hangman a mossy stone. And he says because it says a rolling stone gathers no moss, and he says he's a mossy stone, as in he hasn't been doing shit. And Pac's been wrestling around the world against the best, and he is undefeated in his 20 months, over 20 months. And he says he's been traveling the world beating people, and he is pound for pound the best in the world. What makes Hangman think he can beat him. I thought this was a very solid heel promo.
Pac is very good at heel promos.
Now, it's funny because, WWE fan, so I'm thinking back to NXT, and then they debut him on the main roster, and he's wearing a cape, and he's this lovable face. Who thought this was hiding in him? Who would have thought that this was in him? Because I know this was the character he played in WWE the year before he left, but he's just so good at it. It's like,
Absolutely.
Why hasn't this been you the whole time? It's like he's so good at it. So we're looking forward to Hangman and Pac. Like I said, I'm still waiting. I mean, we got a couple weeks, so they'll announce whether it's for the title or not sometime in there, I take it. Cody comes to Southern Honor Wrestling. It's in my notes. Southern Honor Wrestling. He has Pharaoh. He brings him to the ring, and he lets Alicia go. And Pharaoh's a good dog. He's just sitting there. But I think the noise and everything gets to him because he bounces.
I love how he burrowed under, kind of just he went, he crouched down and then went under the ropes.
Yep, he's like, I'm out this bitch. This is too much going on.
Pharaoh, come back.
Yes, and Cody tried to get him to come back, and he calls Pharaoh a heel. He announces Dustin Thomas as a participant in a casino battle royale. We get a promo video on Dustin Thomas. He has no legs, but he was born that way. So he's dealt with it his whole life. He was an athlete in high school. He wrestled, and he decided he wanted to pro wrestle. And he thought it was going to be like a weekend thing. He never thought he was going to get a shot, and he's very happy to get a shot. I just think this is incredible. I remember, for me, it was, I remember Zach Gowen signed with the WWE, and he had one leg. But this guy has no legs, and he's working, and I just think that is crazy and kind of inspirational, and it kind of makes me feel really lazy.
And for the whole thing with him is that they showed little footage of his work, and holy crap, he's better than some people with two legs. It's insane how good he seems to be, from the footage that we saw. And it just makes me so happy. It's like a heartwarming story that someone, kind of just a way to make you realize, really, AEW is for everyone. This guy has no legs, but we know he's elite. We know he has the talent. That is inspirational and heartwarming, and it just makes me support AEW even more.
So, whoever eliminates him is going to be a heel.
Yes.
So,
MJF.
I was going to say, I feel like that's the only person that can eliminate him, right? Yeah, it's like, God, you want some heel heat, eliminate the guy with no legs. Yeah, they're going to hate you no matter what. That is crazy. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. Then we get the rules of the Casino Battle Royale as explained by the American Nightmare. So each one of the 21 participants is going to be dealt a card. I'm guessing there's only going to be 21 cards. There'll be the hearts, the diamonds, the spades, and the clubs. And each group of 5 will come in based on their suit. After all 20 people in there, one lucky guy who pulls the Joker will be lucky number 21 and will enter last. After that, it is over the top battle royal rules, and the winner gets, from what I understand, the first shot at the newly crowned AEW World Champion. I mean, I just when he explained it like this, I think it was a better explanation than in BTE. It was just amazing, and I'm excited for it. I just that's the whole thing with wrestling, is it's this fictional world of storytelling, and you wonder why more chances aren't taking, why people don't change the rules even more. I mean, some crap doesn't work. There was this thing called a reverse battle royal, and it sucked. You know?
I know about that.
Yeah, but you know what? You take your shot, you know? You're like, okay, that wasn't good. You acknowledge it wasn't good, and then you try something else the next time. You know? So I just like that they're trying something different. And they built up a cachet. They built up some respect from them, how amazing the regular All-In Battle Royal was. So I am looking forward to this Battle Royal.
As am I.
And last, you get Kenny Omega. There was the Donnybrook. We saw that from the beginning. And then Kenny Omega's cutting a promo, and he says goodbye and good night. Bang! I am very excited for him. At his match versus Jericho. It's just those are two masters of this. And and you know what? I actually had the problem, and I will say I have had very few problems with AEW. I had the problem that I didn't feel like Jericho and Kenny Omega was being built up enough for the new audience. They don't. I was like, they don't know why Jericho and Kenny Omega don't like each other, and I think this week and I think it'll build up over the next couple weeks. I think they did a great job of setting it and letting new fans know that Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho just don't like each other.
Yeah, for sure. And I have to say, that's probably the only match where I legitimately do not know who's going to win. Like, it's very possible Kenny could win. It's very possible Jericho could win. But, like, there's no, like, oh, for sure this person's going to win, because obviously that needs to happen in order for it to succeed. This is one that's literally like, it could go either way.
Yeah, and you know, Omega's obviously the ace of the company. You know, he's the best, wrestler in the world. But Jericho is the biggest name in the company. And it's like, and if the crazy thing is they're giving this match to you the first night. So it's going to set a pace for what this show is going to be. Who the top draws are going to be. It's like, that's what I'm like. When people, it's like wrestling's too predictable, you got this new brand that you're not going to be able to predict anything because you don't know which way they're going. And I'm looking forward to that.
For sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, Jericho winning makes sense. He's the biggest name in the company. Kenny Omega winning makes sense. He's the best wrestler in the company. I don't know if we may get a clean finish. We may not. I'm looking forward to all of it, whatever they decide to present. But since I have covered BT, I believe that's it. Do you have anything else for us?
I don't think so. I think we've said everything that we could say that's happened the past week.
Yes, when there is no wrestling, you do what you can. But there was a lot of news, a lot of big news this week. We're looking forward to what we get to talk about next week. Again, Namie will be on next week. We'll be closer to Double or Nothing. We might go through some of the matches and through some of the options with the bracelet at Starrcast. But we'll talk about that, and then we'll bring everything to you. So, Sydney, thank you for showing up for me today. I know you had finals last week, and school's over now, right?
Yep.
You excited for your summer break?
Very excited.
Yeah. Other than Double or Nothing, got any big plans?
Well, this weekend I'm going to a Ring of Honor event. I'm going to the Grand Rapids War of the Worlds show, which should be a blast. I'm going to have basically a summer internship, but it's actually a volunteer thing. But I'm going to be doing that 3 days a week, which should be fun because I get to work with animals, and I love animals. And then in July, I believe I'm going to Tampa, and I'm going to be doing a Busch Gardens summer camp for 2 weeks, where I'll be able to work alongside a zookeeper for 1 week and a vet for the next week, and I'm going to be with one of my best friends.
Well, that is awesome. Well, the Social Suplex is based out of Tampa. That's where Jeremy and the boys all live for the most part. So that's kind of cool. Maybe able to wave hi at them and when you're there.
Absolutely.
But so yeah, it's kind of cool. It's like I haven't looked forward to summer in a very long time. It's like once you get old, it's just all blends together. You just notice when it's hot and when it's cold. So whatever. But this summer, I'm getting married. So
Yay!
So I've talked about that ad nauseum. But yeah, very excited about that. So countdown to marriage is on its way. So definitely looking forward to that. So I'd like to thank everyone that took a second to listen to this show. We definitely take constructive criticism. So if you want to hit us on Twitter at @ATElitePod, that's at @ATElitePod on Twitter, and give us any feedback you have. Follow the Social Suplex on all your podcast networks. Leave us 5-star reviews. And then, tell me how amazing I am if you want to. And tell me how much you love Sydney and how much she knows everyone. So, yeah, tell us everything. If you have any questions, comments, any ways we can improve, I definitely will always listen because you know what? Every day you're trying to get better. So for Sydney, this is Floyd, and I say whether it's work, school, at home, always do your best to be elite.